Hello everyone and welcome to card 13 of my Christmas series for this year. Today I have this cute, simple card using some new products that I got in my recent haul video. I am using this MFT stamp Christmas Selfie. I am using the Mama Elephant Polaroid Fun die. I have some Simon Says Right cardstock, some craft cardstock, some white cardstock, and some pattern paper from my 6x8 pattern pack that I got in my recent haul video. I'm also using an Echo Park Snowflake die. I will have everything that I'm using listed down in the description below. The first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to take this skinny panel that I have already pre-cut. I used my Stitch STAX dies from MFT to cut this panel out and add some stitching to it. And I'm going to tape it down to my surface here, and I'm going to take my stencil and I'm just lining it up where I felt like I had the most snowflakes. I'm going to tape it down with some washi tape, and I'm going to be using my Moonstone Glimmer paste that I got. I was super excited to use this in this card. I was trying to find the best way to use this Glimmer paste and where I wanted to use it, and this card was perfect for it. And it's so shimmery and shiny, and you guys know that I love sparkle, and this adds just the right amount. And I didn't have my new scrapers yet. I had ordered them and they hadn't come in time when I wanted to create this card. So I just used this one and it worked out just fine. You don't need a whole lot of this Glimmer paste. A little goes a long way. And I got it to work out just fine. And I love the look. It's so shimmery, and in the light it really just sparkles. And as it dries, it kind of mutes a little bit, but all you see is that glitter. And it works out great. So I wanted to get this done first so that it had time to dry. And I'm just scraping that down so it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to take all of the leftovers and make sure I clean off everything, because this stuff dries, it dries like a rock, and you don't want it to ruin any of your stencils. So I picked up this panel and I took my finger around the edge and just wiped off all of the kind of overhanging bits of glitter. And it's just so pretty. So I set that off to the side to dry, and I went immediately to clean off my stencil and off all of my items so that I don't leave anything behind, because again, it dries and it'll ruin anything that it's stuck on. So get my station all cleaned up here, and we're going to stamp our image so we can do some coloring. And I'm just going to be using some Neenah 100-pound cardstock to do my stamping today. I've got my MISTI here, and I've got a nice, just a scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm going to take my die that I'm going to use. This isn't really necessary, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough room on this cardstock because I'm going to cut the die out of the same cardstock. So I taped it down to make sure I had enough room to cut that out. Excuse me. And I'm going to place my stamp right inside there, not moving that die because it fits in there perfectly. And I'm going to be using some Memento TUXEDO black ink because I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring. And I'm going to stamp down this cute image. This Santa, he reminds me of the opening scene of the Christmas Vacation movie, of the Santa that comes in the beginning of the movie where he's like breaking light bulbs and the snowman falls on him and he breaks the chimney. For some reason, the face on this Santa reminds me of that Santa in the movie, and it is hilarious. I just love this. So now I'm going to get into the coloring. I'm going to put on some music, and when I'm all finished, we'll come back and finish up the card together. Now that all my coloring is finished, I took that Polaroid die and I cut out my images. And you didn't necessarily need to cut these individually, but that's the way the die works. I know there's some dies out there that cuts it out as one whole piece, but in the end, I like the way it turned out. Next, I'm going to get all of my elements together and I'm going to start assembling my card. So I apologize that I'm zoomed in really far here. I didn't realize that I had it in so far. And I'm going to take my craft piece and I'm going to put it down on my card base first. And then I'm going to take my glitter panel here that is nice and dry because it's so thin it dried really quickly. And then I'm going to take my craft piece and I'm going to glue those two together first because I want to add a little bit of twine. I have some twine here from Lawn Fawn and I'm not 100% sure what the name of it is, but again, I'll have it linked below, so if you want to use it as well. And it's a hemp twine, and I don't really use a whole lot of twine on my cards anymore. I used to a long time ago, and I thought this will look really cute here. So just to kind of reinforce that, those two panels together, I just add a little bit of washi tape behind it, and you won't even see it once it's done. So I took a nice big long piece of this twine, and I am going to wrap it around this panel here to kind of just create some texture, some movement. And I wanted to tie a bow in the middle, and I thought, well, maybe I'll tie it first, and then I kind of second guessed it because, again, I don't use twine a whole lot, so I wasn't 100% sure this would work out, but I got it figured out in the end. I took the twine and I taped it to the back first, and then again, nobody's going to see this, nobody's going to know it's here but you guys watching this video, and I just wanted to do 2 wraps, so I wrapped it around, taped it down again, and cut off the excess, and then later on I'm going to go in and tie a bow on afterwards. And this worked out so much nicer for me, and it didn't really add a whole lot of bulk. The card laid just fine, and I just added some glue behind it and it stuck down just fine, and it worked out perfectly, exactly the way I wanted it to. So I'll get that lined up here and press it down, add some acrylic blocks on top just to kind of help hold it down. And while that's drying, I'm going to take my Santa panel here. I'm going to use some washi tape on it as well. Again, washi tape is great. I'd never had it before, and now I use it for everything. And nobody is going to see this washi tape behind here. Nobody's ever going to know it's there except for you all who are watching it. So if you've received this card from me, hey, there's washi tape on the back, but it doesn't matter. Now I want to take this and I want to add my sentiment. I'm using a sentiment from the same stamp set. Have yourself I think it's Merry Christmas or a Selfie Christmas, something along those lines. I can't remember. It's here. You'll see it. And I'm just using the same ink, and I'm just going to stamp it right here. I really like this Polaroid die because it leaves a nice space for a sentiment. Now you could distress this Polaroid to make it look more like a Polaroid. I had thought about doing that, adding a little bit of aging to it, but I decided just to leave it nice and white. So the sentiment is, have your selfie a Merry Christmas. I like all the punny sentiments that you get with all of the stamp companies. They're so great with puns. And I used my VersaFine Onyx black ink to stamp that down. Next, I'm going to go in and add some details to my little image here. I'm taking my black Sakura gel pen and adding some highlight, some, kind of darkening their eyes in, kind of add some shimmer to them. I really like the way this looks. And then I'm also going to take my shimmer pen, or actually this is my Aqua Nuvo pen, yep. And it's starting to run out, so I squeezed it and got a pile of shimmer out. And I'm adding it to the jingle bell, to Rudolph's nose, and to the trim on Santa's hat and his coat. I really like this pen. I'm going to have to get another one because I use this one all the time. And I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to go in the background here and add some snowflakes. I love how this looks. It's nice and simple. It takes no time at all, and it really adds to the image. It makes it look like they're outside. Now again, you could make this look even more realistic and do these snowflakes right over top of them like they are outside in this flurry of snow. But again, I am not brave enough for that yet. Maybe one day I will be, and I will make it look a little more realistic, but I like the way it looks anyway. So now I'm going to take some 3M foam tape and I'm going to attach it to the back. my 3M foam tape had run out at this point, and I just decided to put what I had left on here, and it held it just fine. I wasn't worried about it. And peel off the backing, place it down on my panel here at kind of an angle. I wanted it to kind of look like somebody just tossed this image off onto a table. And I love the way that it turned out. Looks great. And I love the sparkly snowflakes. Brings in the snow from the little background I made. Now I'm taking some more of that hemp twine and I'm going to tie a little bow on here. And it makes it look like I tied it as a present. And I'm not the best at doing bows, but you know, practice makes perfect. I did a lot of bows. I had a craft fair I was supposed to go to, but it got canceled unfortunately, so I made a ton of bows. I'm so over bows. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add some of these holiday gems from Pretty Pink Posh, I believe, as well as some glossy accents to Rudolph's nose and his little bell. So I'm using some red and green. I didn't go overboard with these. I just wanted to add a little bit of shimmer to this. I usually do odd numbers. I ended up doing even numbers, and it bothered me afterwards. Something about odd numbers are more pleasing to the eye. I don't know. I don't know where I heard that from, but maybe from art class. I'm not sure. But just going to stick those down with my multimedia mat. And that will finish up this card for today. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I only have probably about 2 more cards left. That'll take us right into Christmas. Again, I hope you enjoy this series. I really love making my Christmas cards. It's just so much fun for me. It's nice and relaxing, and it helps me kind of de-stress after a hard day at work. Again, if you like the videos, don't forget to hit the like button as well as the subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos here on my channel. And if you hit the little notification bell down on the bottom, you will be notified anytime that I upload a video. And I am also sharing some of my videos from last year. They are linked as well. So if you want to watch those and catch up, you can. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!